Okay, you can see the screen.
Yes.
This is the chemistry laboratory apparatuses. You have got in, I think, chapter 2 or 3 in chemistry book. Chapter 2 or chapter 3 or something like that. This is a chemistry lab apparatuses. And part 1, part 2, there will be more. So, this is a chemistry lab. Some of the uh, things in the lab. You know what's a lab? What is a lab? What is
Uh,
a lab?
Lab is a place where
Yeah, say lab is a place where. Yeah, okay, right. Say lab is a place where you
laboratory.
where you do experiments. Lab is a place where you do experiments. Got it?
Got it.
Lab is a place where you do experiments. So, a chemistry lab or laboratory. Lab is a short form for laboratory. The full term is a laboratory. So, laboratory or lab. So, some of the things you will see and use. Part 1, then there is part 2 where more apparatuses will be there. So, chem lab means chemistry laboratory. So, first we are having heating equipment. How do you heat something? Like at home, when you want to heat, you use your gas, LPG gas, or your electric heater. So, how do you heat? And other things. So, for heating, we will use either Bunsen burner or spirit lamp. I'll show you. I'll show you each of the things. Bunsen burner or spirit lamp, a tripod stand, that is an iron stand, wire gauze, and holder or clamp. These things we will be using for heating. Whenever heating is needed, we will be using these things for heating. Got it?
Got it.
Bunsen burner or spirit lamp, anyone, not both. Either Bunsen burner or spirit lamp. Like at home, you'll use either your gas stove or electric heater, any one thing. Similarly, Bunsen burner or spirit lamp, any one. Then an iron stand, because a tripod, because it has 3 legs. Like a stool, it has 3 legs. So it is called a tripod stand. Wire gauze, that is a wire net, and holder or clamp. Let us see. So you can see on the left
Yes.
side we have Bunsen burner. On the left side we have Bunsen burner and it is burning, but it requires a gas connection. You can see the tube. It requires a gas connection. So in schools where they have gas connection, they use Bunsen burner. If you don't have gas connection, then you can't use that. So only in schools where they have gas connection, there they will be using Bunsen burner. They're burning Bunsen burner. And in schools where they don't have gas connection, they use a spirit lamp. There's a spirit lamp. Inside is spirit, means a kind of alcohol. And there's a cap. When you're not using it, you can close it. Now the cap is open because the lamp is burning. When it is not burning, you can close it with a cap so that alcohol is not lost by evaporation. You can close. Right. Now, the third thing is, now how do you hold it? It will be very hot. How do you hold it? Supposing anyone you use, this one or this one, but the thing will become very hot. So, this is the, how do you hold it? Clamp for heating. For heating a test tube, for instance, you'll be holding it like this. This is a clamp. There's a clamp for holding it. Otherwise, it will become very hot. This is a tripod stand. See, tripod stand. 3 legs. 3 legs made of iron. The full thing is made of iron. So 3 legs, the top is a triangle and it is hollow. So if you place a round bottom flask or something, it will be below it. This is not solid. this empty space, 3 rods forming a triangle and 3 legs. So a hollow triangle and 3 legs. This is a tripod stand, and this is a wire gauze. Wire gauze is just a net, fine net. And here you have tongs. If you want test tube, this is a clamp, but tongs you can use if you want to hold certain other things, particularly charcoal pieces or this wire gauze. Then you can hold tongs. Both are for holding hot things. When it is very hot, for test tube we use this clamp, and for other things we use tongs. Something like your shadashi, almost like shadashi for holding. So here we have shown, see how it is. On the tripod stand there is a tripod stand. At the bottom you have got the spirit lamp. You can also put a Bunsen burner, either Bunsen burner or spirit lamp. On the top we have the wire gauze, and on that you are placing the thing to be heated. Right, on the top you are having something to heat, some liquid, and this is the wire gauze. If you want to hold the wire gauze, you will do it with the tongs. Then you have a spirit lamp, and this is a tripod stand. That's why this is hollow, because the flame must cross this one. Flame must cross this. Then only, that's why this is a hollow thing. মাঝখানে ফাঁকা, নাহলে ফ্লেম তো উঠবে না। এটাকে পুরো সলিড করলে ফ্লেম উঠবে না। It has to be hollow, তাহলে ফ্লেম ফাঁক দিয়ে উঠবে। So flame will rise. There is a spirit lamp. You can also put a Bunsen burner. There is a tripod stand. There's tripod stand, and on the top we have put a wire gauze. And if you want to hold a single test tube, you use a clamp, and for other purposes you use the tongs. Right? Okay.
Okay.
So tripod stand is made of iron. Right? And these are for holding hot things like shadashi, chimta, like this. These are meant for holding very hot things. And a tripod stand, so that you can put the thing on the top and the Bunsen burner or spirit lamp at the bottom. This wire gauze, it will distribute the heat to all the places. Otherwise, it will be heated only in one place. So the heat is spread out. The heat is distributed, spread. The entire heat will be spread out. So every part will be heated. There's a wire gauze for distributing heat, for spreading out heat, and tongs and clamps for holding. Okay?
Okay.
Now see the heating. You can see at the bottom we have got a Bunsen burner. You can also put a spirit lamp. If Bunsen burner is there, you put a Bunsen burner, otherwise spirit lamp. Now you have got a tripod stand, the left side. See the left figure. Tripod stand. And on the top you are placing a wire gauze. So at the bottom you have got a Bunsen burner or a spirit lamp, and this is the tripod stand. On the tripod stand you are having the wire gauze so that the heat will be spread out, and on the top you are having a beaker, a container containing water. Water is there, and inside water you have got a test tube, and it is permanently clamped, means you don't have to hold it in hand. If it is clamped like this, then you don't have to hold it in hand like that tongs or that holder. You don't have to hold it in hand. You can just clamp it and leave it. If it's for a long time, then you do this. If it's for 2-3 minutes, then you hold it in hand. Otherwise, you clamp it. So the test tube is clamped. The thermometer is also clamped, which will give you the temperature. And you have got a test tube inside water, and the whole thing is being heated by Bunsen burner. And you have got a tripod stand to place the beaker, and a wire gauze to spread out the heat. Similarly here, see the right side picture. Right side picture, Bunsen burner or spirit lamp. This heat, either Bunsen burner or spirit lamp. A tripod stand. Then you have a wire gauze, and you are heating water. Water or any liquid you are heating by placing it on wire gauze on the top of tripod stand. So tripod stand will be there. Bottom of tripod stand is either Bunsen burner or spirit lamp. Then on the top of tripod stand you have got the wire gauze. Then you place whatever you have to heat. Got it?
Okay.
So if you want to heat, first what you have to do, first take a Bunsen burner or spirit lamp. Then that will be below this what do you call tripod stand. The tripod stand below that, niche, you have got the Bunsen burner. On the top of tripod stand, you are having a wire gauze, and on the wire gauze, you are having whatever you want to heat. And if you have got additional things like test tube or thermometer, then you use this clamp. Here there's no thermometer, no test tube, so it's okay. But if you have got a thermometer and test tube, extra things, then you use this clamp. Otherwise, don't use it. If you don't have this test tube and thermometer, then I don't need, then no clamp. Only the clamp is for only this test tube and thermometer. Otherwise, no clamp. Just put the water on this tripod stand with a wire gauze. Tripod stand with a wire gauze, put the thing to be heated. At the bottom, you have got the Bunsen burner or spirit lamp. And if you have extra things, then you use the clamp. Okay?
Okay.
So, now next is containers and glassware. Beakers, we'll show you. Beakers and test tubes both are for holding, mixing and heating. Both beakers and all these are glass. All these are glass. Beakers, test tubes, test tube rack is wood. Test tube holder is metal, but this conical flask, watch glass, all these are glass. Beakers, glass. Test tube, glass. Conical flask, all flask. Glass, watch glass, glass. Only test tube holder is metal with a wooden handle, and test tube rack is wooden. So containers and glasswares, both beakers and test tubes, number 1 and number 2. Both beakers and test tubes, both are used for holding, mixing and heating. But beakers is used for large quantities and test tube for small quantities. If you have say 200 milliliter, you will be using beaker. But if you have only 10 milliliter, you will be using test tube. Small quantity test tube, large quantity beaker. Test tube rack is to keep the test tubes. Test tube holder is to hold when heating. Conical flask is again for heating and reactions. And watch glass is for heating solids and evaporating liquids. So we'll show you one by one. Beakers for holding, mixing and heating liquids, large quantities. There's a beaker, all made of glass. All made of glass. This is for pouring. This lip, we call it, this is for pouring. So, beakers for holding, mixing and heating liquids in large volumes and large quantities. 100 ml, 200 ml, 250 ml. If it is 5 ml or 10 ml, then you use test tubes. But for large quantities, we are using beakers, glass beakers for holding liquids, for keeping liquids, for mixing liquids when you want to mix two liquids, and for heating liquids. Place it on the Bunsen burner with a tripod stand and wire gauze. Bunsen burner or spirit lamp, one tripod stand, one wire gauze, and on that if you put the beaker, you can heat it. So for holding, that is keeping liquids, storing liquids, not storing but keeping liquids for 10, 15, 20 minutes. Not storing means not for many days. For holding liquids, for keeping liquids, mixing two liquids. Mixing two liquids, one acid, one alkali, mixing two liquids, heating liquids. How will you heat? One Bunsen burner or spirit lamp, one tripod stand, one wire gauze, and on that you keep this beaker. So beakers for holding, mixing, heating. large quantities. Okay?
Okay.
Beakers are made of glass. You can keep liquids. You can mix 2, 3 liquids. You can heat the liquids if you have a tripod stand and Bunsen burner, or tripod stand and that a spirit lamp. Just put a wire gauze on that and you can heat it. So beakers. Next, test tubes, also glass. Test tube is for same thing, heating, mixing, but small amounts, 10 ml, 15 ml, not 200 and 250 ml, small amounts. When the liquid is in small quantity, then we use test tubes. But the purpose is same, heating, mixing, small amounts. So test tubes are also used for the same purpose, uh, keeping, heating, mixing, but small quantities. You can't keep 500 ml, all 10 ml, 15, small quantities. So test tubes for small quantities, beakers for large quantities. Okay, this much.
Okay.
Beakers for keeping, heating, mixing. Test tubes, heating, mixing, same thing. But if you have a large quantity, large volume, use beaker, small volume, use test tube. Test tube for small volume, beaker for large volume. Now, this is the rack. If you have how to keep the test tube. If you have 4 test tube, you can't be holding in hand. So, how to keep it vertical? This is a stand, rack. We call it rack, but actually it is kind of stand where you can keep the test tube both with liquids and empty test tube. The empty test tube also you can keep it on the right side, you can see, and also when you are using containing different liquids. One may contain water, one may contain salt solution, one may contain sugar solution, one may contain acid, one may contain a mixture of acids, one may contain alkali. So, like this, you will how to store, how to keep it vertical, and also how to store. Empty test tubes, you can keep it. Even you can keep it 5 days, 7 days, 10 days. But this is when you are doing the experiments, you can't be holding everything in hand if you have 4 test tubes. So the rack is used to store or keep test tubes. It will always be vertical. Otherwise, if it is not vertical, all the things will fall. So it is vertical. How to store the test tubes vertically? Test tube rack. And it is wooden. This is wooden. This is made of wood. Test tubes are made of glass. The rack is made of wood. Okay? So, what is the work of test tube rack? To store or keep test tubes in vertical position. In vertical position, straight. That is a test tube rack. That is wooden. Test tube is glass. Test tube rack is wooden. Then test tube holder that we showed you earlier. How to hold one test tube. Either you can use a clamp or you can use like this a handheld holder. So test tube holder can be a single test tube and handheld. You can hold it in hand, handheld, or it can be a clamp, a vertical clamp. You can permanently keep it. If it is for a long time, you use a clamp. Like half an hour, you use a clamp. If it is for just 1 minute, then you use this handheld, this one, because it will become very hot. So at that time, how to hold? So either a clamp or a test tube holder. Clamp you are using if you want to use it for long time, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. And if it is for just for 2-3 minutes or 5 minutes, then you use this handheld holder. Okay?
Okay.
Then we have got flasks. 3 types of flasks. Round bottom flasks, usually used for heating. Flat bottom, see the bottom, flat. This is used usually when you don't want to heat, you just want to keep it on the table. This for heating, that means putting it on the tripod stand. For tripod stand, we use round bottom flask. If it is flat bottom flask, if we just want to keep it on the table, and for certain other things, we use conical flask. There is also flat. So three kinds of flasks. This is not that flask or a thermos flask where you keep tea and coffee. It will remain hot. Not that. These are glass. Just glass, open, round bottom, flat bottom. So round bottom, if you want to keep it on a tripod stand in heat. Flat bottom, if you want to keep it on the table. And conical flask for certain other things. So these are the three kinds of flasks. Storing, heating, reactions and preparations. For storing liquids, heating, reactions and preparations. That means making hydrogen gas, making oxygen gas, making carbon dioxide gas for preparations. If you want to prepare something, you want to prepare hydrogen gas, you want to prepare oxygen gas, you want to prepare nitrogen gas, you want to prepare carbon dioxide gas. Preparations, reactions, heating. So three kinds of flask. Then we have watch glass. See this watch glass. Watch glass is for heating, holding solids and evaporate liquids. A small quantity like 5 ml. 5 ml means 1 spoon. You have got a spoon, 1 spoon. If you put here, it is easy to evaporate. So the water will evaporate and the salt or sugar will be left behind. This is mainly for evaporating. Watch glass. Okay?
Okay.
So this is the watch glass which is used for holding solids. You can also put some powder and other things, you can keep it here, solids, or you can use it for evaporating liquids. Small quantity, 5 ml, 10 ml, 1 spoon, 2 spoonfuls you take and then evaporate. And this is the flask, but there are three kinds of flask. A round bottom, which you will put on the tripod stand for heating. Flat bottom, when you don't want to heat, you want to put it on the table, flat. And conical flask, conical in shape. Then we have the test tube holder. If you have to heat it for a long time, 30, 40, 45 minutes, then you put it on the flame for a long time, then you use this vertical clamp. Then, and if you want to hold it for 2-3 minutes, then this handheld holder. Handheld holder. The shapes may differ, the actual design may differ, handheld holder. Then we have test tube rack. How to keep test tubes? Both empty test tubes means unused, as well as test tubes which you are using now. These test tubes you are using now, they contain liquids, and these are empty test tubes. So for both of them, you can use test tube rack. This is made of wood. Test tube is made of glass. The rack is wooden. Then these are the test tubes you are used for heating and mixing liquids in small quantities. Heating and mixing solutions in small quantities. 10 ml, 20 ml. And beakers, the same thing, mixing and heating liquids in large quantities. 200 ml, 250 ml, 300 ml, 500 ml. For large quantities, we use this beaker. And for small quantities, test tubes, all made of glass. So these are the glassware containers, beakers, test tubes, flasks and watch glass. And there is a rack and holder. A rack is wooden, a holder is metal. So that is the containers and glass things. And here we have heating equipment. See how we heat? We put a Bunsen burner or spirit lamp. You can also have a spirit lamp. You have a tripod stand, you have a wire gauze. On the top, you put a beaker. And if you have extra things like thermometer or something, then you can use a clamp. Otherwise, see on the right side, no clamp, because you don't need any extra thermometer or something. So just use tripod stand, Bunsen burner or spirit lamp, wire gauze, and put the beaker. There is a beaker on the top. So beaker you can directly keep it, but only if you have extra things then you use a clamp. Then this one, how to hold. Again, single test tube, how to hold. And these are tongs used for holding other things, like non-breakable things, like this wire gauze or charcoal pieces, metal pieces, not glass things. And there is a tripod stand on which you can put the wire gauze and you can put the beaker. So the wire gauze is used to distribute heat, to spread out heat. Otherwise, this flame will heat only one place. There is a flame. The flame, see the flame. It will heat only in one place. Test tube, it's okay. But beaker, it will heat only in one place. That's why wire gauze to spread out the heat. The heat will spread everywhere. Uniform heating, equal heating. There should be equal heating, not heating in one place. Equal heating. That's why this wire gauze. And the heating actually is either Bunsen burner or spirit lamp, any one. If it is Bunsen burner, it's okay. You just close it, close the gas connection. If it is spirit lamp, the spirit will evaporate. So after using, now it is actually burning. When your work is finished, then you will put this cap. The cap is used to close it so that the spirit does not evaporate. So we have the Bunsen burner, spirit lamp, tripod stand, wire gauze, holder or clamp as heating equipment, beakers, flask, three kinds of flask, round bottomed, flat bottomed, and conical test tubes and beakers. And to keep the test tube, we have the wooden rack, test tube rack. And for holding, we have either clamp or handheld holder. And this tripod stand is a iron stand. This is the only thing which is iron now. Iron stand with three legs. On the top, you put the beaker or something over the wire gauze, and at the bottom, you put the Bunsen burner or spirit lamp. And if you want to hold it over a flame, then you use a holder. Okay?
Okay.
So, this is what we call. This is part one. There are more. There are more. This is not the end. There are more in your book that we will do next class, maybe next Saturday. By this time, you learn this. What is the use of it? So, can you name what is in the first picture? What is it? First picture. See, what can you see? What can you see in the first picture when I'm moving the arrow? Tell me what you can see. Yeah. Say. What is
Barn.
this? Huh? Yeah, say. What you can see in the first picture?
The rack of test tube.
No, this one, before that. This one, first one. That is the second one, test tube rack with many test tubes. This one, where you are heating this one. You are having a spirit lamp and a test tube with a clamp. A vertical stand or a clamp, a test tube and spirit lamp heating it. The second picture is a test tube rack with many test tubes. Right? There is also heating. You see on a clamp, heating. And this one, you can see beakers. Beakers with a rod. This is the rod, glass rod and a beaker. Here you have at the bottom, see the first column, bottom, a left side bottom. What do you have? Can you tell me what do you have? Left side bottom? Bottom. Bottom. Can you see the arrow moving?
Yes.
See that one, that picture. What do you see? What are the things you can see? Say anyone first. In the name of anyone.
The cylinder of gas.
No, where cylinder of gas? Cylinder where you are finding? There is a Bunsen burner, not cylinder. There is a Bunsen burner. Bunsen burner is heating, and this is a tripod stand. On the tripod stand, you have a wire gauze. On the wire gauze, you have a beaker filled with liquid and a glass rod. It's not a gas cylinder. This is a Bunsen burner. A Bunsen burner, a tripod stand, tripod or tripod or whatever you call it. Then we have a wire gauze on the top of tripod stand. At the bottom you have the heating, and on the top you have a beaker filled with some liquid and a glass rod. And next to it you have only tripod stand and wire gauze. Only tripod stand and wire gauze. And next one where the arrow is moving, there is a flask. There is a flask. And there is a funnel. We didn't go. There is a funnel. Got it? There is
Got
not a
it.
cylinder. There is a Bunsen burner. Here at the bottom you have a Bunsen burner. At the top you have a spirit lamp. The top picture is a spirit lamp, and at the bottom is a Bunsen burner. Here, because it is a test tube, so you don't need the wire gauze. Small thing. But a beaker, you'll need a tripod stand and a wire gauze so that there is equal heating. Heat is spread out, distributed. That's why you have it. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.